Hello and welcome to a very special edition of GBN Royal. I'm Cameron Walker here on a farm in Angus where Prince William has just left. He was talking to young people about mental health and also the isolation that young farmers face. Take a listen.
We've got some members of the local Young Farmers Clubs. We have the National Chair of the Scottish Association of Young Farmers Clubs, and we're basically having this round table to talk about the issue of rural isolation and tackling loneliness. And I know that's something that you're really interested in. Can you tell us why you're interested in these issues?
Some of you may know, some of you not. Mental health is a particular thing I care about. Young male mental health particularly, although not exclusively. And I love the countryside and I love farming as well, and conscious that it's an area that needs a little bit of maybe support in understanding that there's access and support out there for young farmers and all farmers, any age farmers. As well as making sure that we are breaking down any taboos and stigmas around mental health. Because I think in the farming world it's maybe not talked about as much as in other sectors, and yet we know it exists. Isolation and mental health is all there. And so particularly wanted to hear a little bit today about how all of you felt and fared, and hear it from the horse's mouth really as to whether we're getting better at talking about it, whether you feel the support is out there, what your recollections and feelings are around rural isolation, mental health, things like that.
Now, after speaking to young farmers, he was shown here to this strawberry field and the damage caused by a storm. So all of these strawberry crops, which you can see here just a few weeks ago, were completely destroyed by a very big storm. You see the metal polytunnel poles have all fallen on them, bent metal. You see this bent plastic here as well. All of this destroyed, £200,000 worth of damage. The polytunnels in the distance is what all of this should look like, but clearly it isn't at the moment because all of these crops are now unusable. As I said, £200,000 worth of damage, all of it uninsurable because there was a very similar storm back in 2012 and all the insurance companies had to pay out a lot of money actually in order to insure farms such as this. So they're refusing to do that now, and Prince William was hearing about the unpredictability of farming, and I spoke to a number of farmers here talking about the unpredictability perhaps of government policy as well, national insurance contributions going up for employers. Big problem for this farm in particular because 55% of their production costs are on labour. But Prince William's focus was not on government policy, funnily enough, because he's a royal. It was on mental health and it was on isolation and breaking down the stigma and also the hidden mental health problems of rural communities. Now, I spoke to Stephanie. Now, she heads up Yellow Wellies, which is an organisation in the United Kingdom which helps young farmers cope with the challenges of modern farming within the UK. So here is an extended interview with Stephanie. Explain to me what Yellow Wellies is, the Farm Safety Foundation.
We're a very small charity. We're based in the Midlands, but we cover the whole of the UK, and we were set up just to challenge and change the attitudes and behaviours around working safely and looking after your mental health in the next generation of farmers.
And what was Prince William talking to young farmers about here today?
He was very interested in conversations around tackling loneliness and rural isolation, something that is all too common in the farming industry. Farmers work long hours on their own with nobody else to talk to. So he was interested in what the strategies that young farmers have to staying connected to each other and how organisations like the Young Farmers Club can help in that.
And he was talking about kind of the hidden rural mental health problems of farming communities, particularly men and young people.
Yes, he knew that there was a figure that 95% of young farmers believe that poor mental health is the biggest hidden danger. Very shocked by that. but actually wanted to understand why that is and what the different factors that could contribute into that.
And what was your impression of Prince William being here at the farm, engaging with young farmers and, of course, inspecting the damage over there by the strawberry, the polytunnels?
I think the fact that Prince William was joining us showed that he was really wanting to listen. He wasn't talking, he was asking questions, and he was really listening. And for us as a small charity, and we have a campaign running next week to do just that, it gives us a profile and it gives people a better understanding of the issues that farmers face every day to put food on our plates 3 times a day.
Well, I also spoke to 2 young farmers, Alistair and Vicky, to talk about what it was like meeting Prince William, but also the specific challenges that they face. But Alistair also has a very special family link to Prince William. Take a listen.
It was a great experience to meet Prince William here today and speaking all things farming and young farmers, and really focusing on the mental health of young people. It was really great to speak to him with his being very down to earth and having a great knowledge of the industry and showing a really keen interest in young farmers in particular.
And Alistair, you talked to him about the Castle of May and your family connection to that, and of course he has his own family connection with Queen Elizabeth, the Queen Mother.
Yes, my dad and my uncle are the 3rd generation farm managers at the Castle of May, where the late Queen Mother, Prince William's great grandmother, owned. So it was nice to speak to him today when having a family connection to his family.
And what are the challenges for young farmers in particular around mental health and isolation?
I think while working in the farming sector, you're spending a lot of time by yourself, and it's really hard to break out of that cycle. Like, it's easy to always be working, so you don't get to meet people, and then you don't get to meet people because you're always working, and it's a hard cycle to break out of. And joining the local Young Farmers Club after I moved down here from Caithness, it really helped me break out of that cycle, and without it, it would be a very lonely place.
It was great to meet Prince William. I thoroughly enjoyed it. He was really enthusiastic about what we do as an association in young farmers. He asked us a lot about how we deal with our mental health and how we deal with isolation, which comes with the job. He seemed really enthusiastic to know how we can cope with it and what measures we would like to see to help us.
And what measures would you like to see to help you with your job, your day-to-day job?
I just think we just need to understand as a group more of when people are struggling. You don't necessarily need a professional to help every single time. You just need someone to give you that phone call and be like, are you okay? What do you want? Do you want to meet up for a cup of tea or something? Do you want to meet up for a coffee? Or we go out for tea? We just need to understand when someone's struggling, a little bit more support, and to understand when people are actually struggling, what signs to look for.
And remember, you spoke to the Prince about it's kind of no good only knowing what's going to be happening a year in advance. You kind of need 5 or 10 years in order to plan properly. Yeah. Just talk to me a little bit about that.
Yeah, agriculture is a year-long process to get one thing. You can plant your crops in spring, but you don't see until summer or into winter what they actually got. So it's hard to say, well, I know that the market's this now, but it doesn't mean you can get the product now. For instance, with beef cattle, you can have the calf born, but it's nearly 2.5 years after the calf's born before you actually see your return. By that point, the market's completely changed. And if we don't have the support there, then how do we know where we can go? We can't start to invest for 3 years' time if we don't have the support from other powers that be in 3 years' time.
And do you hope you're going to be farming for the rest of your kind of working life?
Yeah, I can't see anything. I've always been a farmer since I was a little girl, and I don't want to do anything but farm.
This has been Cameron Walker for GBN Royal. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe and comment to our YouTube channel. Be back soon.